The world is burning. Temperatures continue to climb while landscapes are ravaged by devastating high sea levels. Famines and wars are rampant on the streets, and whole ecosystems are disintegrating. Most individuals in society are giving up into the indomitable force of climate change, believing that solving such an intricate problem is impossible. Yet this is a fallacy. Although attempting to solve the formidable problem is certainly onerous, with an accurate comprehension of the problem, a solution can be obtained. To solve the difficulty, we first require a firm understanding of the problem at hand. People often attribute climate change to products such as cars, meat, and air travel. Although these factors contribute to climate change, they are not the end of the story. For instance, concrete constitutes 8% of global carbon dioxide, CO2 emissions. Concrete emits so much CO2 that building 2 meters of road emits the same amount of CO2 required to build a car. This signifies that even if humanity managed to eliminate or reduce car emissions by halting the production of cars, the emissions from the construction of roads would continue to contribute to climate change. Furthermore, CO2 is not the only greenhouse gas causing the problem. Rice, a plant enjoyed by nearly half of the world, produces 12% of the global methane emissions. This amount is so gargantuan that it amounts to the same value as the amount of greenhouse gases produced by aviation. Finally, 5.4 billion tons of CO2 were released to power residential homes, while only 3.5 billion tons were released by all road vehicles. This shows that climate change is intertwined much more seriously with our lives than previously thought. The statistics continue to be awry. There are multiple roadblocks in the way of resolving climate change. The conventional solution points towards reducing all emitters of greenhouse gases. A classic example is a switch from petrol-based cars to electric ones. The transition, however, will not be as smooth as expected. Firstly, the loss of business for oil companies globally would result in mass unemployment for their employees, which would result in the joblessness of nearly 60 million people and plunge the global economy. Secondly, though electric cars have been thought to not leave an environmental footprint with their exhaust, electric cars are still avid producers of greenhouse gases. Like petrol-based cars, electric cars emit an astounding amount of 7 to 10 tons of CO2 while being produced. However, there are more problems. Electric cars require batteries to function, which are composed primarily of a rare metal known as lithium. The process of mining and refining lithium per ton releases 15 tons of carbon dioxide equivalents. Additionally, an estimated 150 kilograms of carbon dioxide is released for charging an electric car with a kilowatt-hour kWh of electricity. Essentially, more carbon dioxide is released to run an electric car than a fossil fuel one. To exacerbate the problem, countries are unwilling to cut back on emissions. A variety of nations have signed treaties to halt climate change, yet no one seems to be willing to do so. Developed nations argue that since they have implemented emission-reducing methods, developing countries should do the same, while developing countries argue that developed countries have emitted in the past. Renewable energy resources, which appear to be reliable solutions to the problem, are erratic. Solar panels fail when the sun is blocked by clouds. Wind turbines require a consistent breeze to turn the blades. Meanwhile, a more ambitious renewable dream, such as harnessing the energy stored in waves, simply does not exist at large scales. Finally, the popular solution known as personal responsibility does not save the environment in any significant way. A study found that even if a person were to become completely environmentally friendly throughout the person's lifetime, they would only save a single second of global carbon dioxide emissions. Simultaneously, the energy demand continues to climb with rising populations, resulting in the continuous growth and the heating of the planet. Nevertheless, there are potential solutions to climate change. The technology required to reduce the CO2 remaining in the air exists. The idea that receives the most attention is carbon capture and storage, or CCS. CCS works by collecting the carbon dioxide emissions from large sources, such as coal power plants, and sequestering it for several centuries in underground pools of the gas, which can also be combined with other elements to form benevolent compounds. The sole problem with CCS is the sheer cost of utilizing it. As of 2022, every ton of carbon dioxide removed from the atmosphere costs $600. Given the fact that nobody is willing to pay for this exorbitant amount, the implementation of CCS remains pending. A seemingly more bizarre solution is the concept of solar geoengineering, which consists of a variety of proposals to reduce the amount of light that reaches Earth. Some geoengineering methods include iron fertilization, which adds iron into iron-depleted regions in the ocean to promote the growth of plankton that consume CO2. Giant space sails that physically deflect 2% to 4% of the sunlight hitting Earth. And stratospheric aerosol injection, which sprays the molecule sulfur dioxide, SO2, to prevent sunlight from reaching the surface. Unfortunately, geoengineering still requires additional research, as it could catalyze other environmental disasters such as the depletion of ozone in the atmosphere, which can result in skin cancer and alter rainfall patterns, which could result in famines and droughts. Additionally, by utilizing geoengineering, humanity may face an appalling occurrence known as a termination shock. If geoengineering were to stop being employed suddenly, global temperatures would expeditiously climb, as geoengineering does not halt the production of greenhouse gases, but rather masks the effect of climate change. This fashions geoengineering as unascertained at best and malignant at worst. Hence, though there are several possibilities in the fight against climate change, none of them may be viable. The world requires a radical shift, and currently no one is ready for it. Humans have grown accustomed to the many commodities that sustain our lavish lifestyles. Regrettably, the more satisfying and comfortable our lives are, the more the earth is polluted. The items that we consider noteworthy solutions to climate change are either unreliable, undeveloped, or unrealistic, while emissions continue to climb with the rise in the development of countries. Despite this, the solution to climate change is slowly emerging. A myriad of dedicated researchers is toiling to achieve a solution, while the public is slowly beginning to comprehend the gravity of climate change. A change is coming. It is just waiting to be discovered. Thank you for watching this episode of the Information Institute. Please subscribe to our channel now.